It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join News Director Paul David and News Editor Philip Catafamo as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics in Yavapai County that affect all our lives. And now here's today's Countywide.
Welcome back to another episode of Countywide. I'm your host, Philip Catafamo. I'd like to thank you for joining me. On today's show, we are talking Rye Resource Center, and we are joined by the founder and director, Emily Hawley. Emily, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We're really happy to have you here. I've heard a lot about Rye Resource Center. You and I have gotten a chance to talk a little bit more about it. I want to give you an opportunity to talk specifically about what it is, where it is, and how you guys operate. But first and foremost, I thought we'd get kind of a chance to talk more about you and your career in education. So let's start from the beginning. I mean, what got you interested in working in this particular career field?
Well, growing up, I actually did musical theater a lot in Phoenix, and I think that helped me just kind of be in different social situations and practice different social things, which helps when you're working with people with disabilities. Mm-hmm. In high school, I went to Ironwood High School in Phoenix, and I worked with the students with special needs there when I was in, I think, a junior and senior in high school, and I loved it. And then I ended up going to ASU, and I got my bachelor's in special education. And then right out of ASU, I got a job. My first teaching job was in downtown Phoenix, working with some pretty extreme students with autism. Wow. And it was a very small private school, so I got a lot of education on the brain and just different things about autism and disabilities, and I just learned a whole lot, and not the easiest way in a few years. And then I had the opportunity of meeting someone from Cottonwood, and that's how I ended up here.
Can we talk a little bit about that sort of, working with that private school? You mentioned that the kids with the very severe symptoms of autism. I mean, can we just talk a little bit about, some of the challenges you faced and how you kind of overcame them? And because I would assume, something like that, obviously not easy, not every educator is going to take on a task like that, but, what made you kind of want to direct your attention there and continue that passion here in the Verde Valley?
I suppose, I believe that for whatever reason it is, I do genuinely enjoy working with people who are more extreme, who are nonverbal and really struggle with controlling their bodies. I find the brain really interesting, how you can provide different therapies and supports and just help someone be more independent and be able to communicate and things like that. A big piece of it as well is I think I was really inspired by this idea of presuming competence, which is the philosophy of RISE, and the idea that someone who is nonverbal, someone who can't control themselves, someone who can't control their anger or whatever it is, they are competent, that they are a whole person, and that I think that that's just inspired me over the years to want to meet more people, realize that I'm a lot like all the people that I meet, and yeah.
And I'm sure working in education and having a background in musical theater probably makes your classrooms pretty fun to be a part of.
I don't know. You'll have to ask my students. But
well, you did ask if you could sing before we got started, so I was like, well, maybe at some point we can do a break. But let's jump into what Rye Resource Center is, and that's the question there. I mean, what is Rye Resource Center?
It is a state-approved private school. We're a nonprofit organization, and what state-approved means is that local school districts send students to our school. So we're located on the old Cottonwood Elementary School campus here in Cottonwood, and about 50% of our students, we have about 50 students, and about 50% use a scholarship, and then the other 50% are sent by all the districts around here, and then some that are further out. We have students that come from Payson, we have students that come from Mayer, and I am honored by that because that just makes me recognize that not just here in the Verde Valley do these students need resources, but also outside of there as well. So we're doing our best to, support this community, but it's getting a little more regional as well, which is good.
Who are these students that you guys are teaching?
We have students with developmental disabilities, so that would be autism, Down syndrome, intellectual disabilities, and then we also have students with emotional disabilities, and last year was the first year that we started serving students with emotional disabilities, which is students with, anger issues, pretty much with trauma, and what what RISE is, or again, to go back to that philosophy, is presuming competence, which seems very simple, but at the same time, it's the idea of looking at someone as a whole person and recognizing that all of my students, everyone I meet, wants a full life. I want to help the students have healthy hobbies, to learn what their talents are, for them to be inspired and for them to engage in this beautiful community that we live in. We go to the river, we practice yoga, we do a full set of things that I think is to intrigue the students to want to be alive and to want to communicate and to be inspired. We have students that will need help their whole life, 24/7, the rest of their life, and I want to be a part of that help. And then we have students that are going to be able to graduate and potentially go off to college, get jobs, and do different things. And that's another difference with RISE, is I think a lot of times we try to categorize people, we try to put them where this area should serve these people, this area should serve these people, when I have found it very helpful to have everyone together. I think we all learn a lot from each other. And that also goes into, I have a lot of staff, so it's a very highly staffed program. Rye's Resource Center, the K through 12 school, has about 50 students and about 35 staff. And I also just love the staff. I love having all different people come in and be able to inspire the students. We all have our own story. We all have our own talents and skills. And then in addition, this year we started Rise and Shine preschool and daycare. So that serves ages 1 through 5. And this is the first year doing a preschool. It's not easy, but it is fun, and that is very inspiring too. Walking around in the morning, having everyone say, "Hi, Miss Emily," and all those things is really, really sweet and endearing. And then also the staff that I have for that school as well are really incredible. So I'm lucky.
Yeah, no, this is fantastic. Obviously, like you mentioned, just trying to keep that normalcy and trying to keep these kids engaged as best you can.
Yeah, involved, included.
Yeah, and there's obviously the regular public education system. You have your sections for these kids, and it just seems like they don't get enough attention that they deserve. And programs like or schools like yours, I shouldn't even say programs. Schools like yours allow these kids to feel normal and go do things. And like you said, it gives them an opportunity at college, which I think is fantastic. Buddy of mine at college I went to, he studied working in special education. He had a family friend who had special needs and developed a great relationship with them and wanted to take this on and wanted to work in this career field. And I wherever your beliefs might be, I think this is definitely the Lord's work here. I mean, genuinely, I mean, these kids, we have a lot of great programs, a lot of great organizations here in the Verde Valley and all throughout the state of Arizona. But genuinely, I feel like, when you give kids an opportunity to feel normal, especially in these times, especially with just everything that goes on in general, when you give these kids an opportunity to just be kids and enjoy learning, enjoy being alive, enjoy being just present in general, that's fantastic.
Thank
Genuinely.
you. Yeah, figuring out what's the priority in life. What are we here for?
Well, that's what we're all trying to figure out.
Right.
No one's really got any answers, but we hope we can get close to them.
Yes.
But if you want more information about Rise Resource Center, their website is riseresource.org. 928-634-2191 is their phone number. We're going to continue our conversation with Rise Resource Center founder and director Emily Hawley right here on Countywide. Stay with us.
Who doesn't dream of home improvements? Perhaps your kitchen, the real living room. Maybe the bathroom, where you bookend your day. Langstrand Contracting is your one-stop shop from tear down to finishing touches. With 35 years of experience, Chris and his team will work with you to match your family's style and budget. Call Langstrand Contracting today for guidance in bringing your vision to life.
Your carpet is the largest air filter in your home, trapping dust, dirt, and germs from the air that your family members breathe, even the furriest ones.
That's why it's important to keep your carpet and tile clean and hygienic with regular cleanings by Zero-Res. Zero-Res uses state-of-the-art technology and ZR water, not soap or harsh chemicals, so zero residue is left on your home surfaces.
Schedule your appointment today because a clean home is a healthy home. Visit ZeroResNorthernArizona.com.
The mouth is the gateway to the digestive system. Studies indicate a correlation between oral health and full body health. Regular cleanings and checkups can help protect you. New patients are welcome at Arizona Smile Designers in Cottonwood. There's a full smile worth of services all offered under one roof. Whitening and cosmetic to implants and smile reconstruction. Find out more or request an appointment online at azsmiledesigners.com.
Terrifying jobs, high-flying linemen, take 3.
Josh, this is an absolutely terrifying job. Why do you do it?
It's a very demanding job, but very rewarding and exciting.
How much energy are you actually working with up there?
500,000 volts of electricity.
It's definitely not my line of work. Does anything shock you?
Yeah, distracted drivers terrify me.
I want to welcome you back to Countywide. On today's show, we are talking about Rye's Resource Center, and we are speaking with the founder and director, Emily Hawley. We spoke a little bit about what Rye's Resource Center is in the first segment and what brought her up to the Verde Valley from Phoenix. I want to talk a little more about your staff. You've got a great staff at Rye's Resource Center. We've talked about it off air. You mentioned it, I'm sure, on the show. You mentioned it a few minutes ago as well. But just what can you say more about your staff? I mean, obviously 2020 was a bit of a tough year. I don't really want to linger too much on the COVID stuff, but I mean, just how supportive have they been? How, if you want to say some names, I mean, just how great have they been for you this year?
I have incredible staff. I mean, to go back to the whole COVID thing and everything that happened, I feel as if we did work hard as an organization to support our employees throughout that time. You know, schools closed and it could have been a time to lay people off, but we didn't. But when the school closed, in addition to that, what we did do as well for the families and the students, because not everybody does well online. Not an online program isn't for everyone. So we also supplied the families with sensory tools to use at home and different activities to do at home. And my staff went to different students' homes during that time, and we had a whole schedule where it's honestly all a blur when I go back and think about it, but the phases of all of that with school being closed and everything, they were there the whole time supporting us and supporting the families, and I know that that's part of why Rise has been successful. I enjoy being an employer here in the Verde Valley. I think it's a beautiful thing. I've just met so many different people, and the staff that I do have, it's just an array of skills and talents and experience. And now with the preschool this year, again, that's been a whole new party to throw, and it's been exciting and scary, especially the first few months, but I am truly grateful for all of them. And I just know that I'm lucky to be able to have even, picture that, 50 people in this small town. So I know that I'm really lucky.
Yeah, 50 people who are all working towards one goal, it seems.
Working really hard, not really always getting bathroom breaks and lunch breaks and things like that. So
yeah, being an educator is definitely a tough job. And like we mentioned a little earlier, the Rise Resource Center is a nonprofit organization. Do want to throw that out there. RiseResource.org is their website. 928-634-2191 is their phone number. They also have a Facebook page. If you want to go get more information, links to the website, phone number are all there as well. We talked a little bit about the curriculum that's taught at Rise Resource Center. You mentioned you guys do some outdoor activities, which is always great, but what's taught in school?
Well, in school, we have taken on a few of those online academic curriculums that the schools use. We luckily get to partner with Cottonwood Oak Creek School District. That's something that I should say as well. We're very lucky to be able to partner with them. We rent space from Cottonwood Oak Creek, but we also get to utilize the curriculum that they use, which is a beautiful thing. And the space that we have there, I'm sure many of you have seen it, but it's just a beautiful campus. We get to look over Jerome. We have the fields that we share with the other school as well. But to go back to the academic piece of it, I mean, we teach all of the core academics, but then in addition to that, as I said before, I'm very passionate about helping the students learn about what they want their hobbies to be, what they might want to be inspired by that's not technology and TikTok and those things that I'm very over. But more so, like I mentioned, yoga, art, music, those type of things as well. And then, as I said, utilizing the community, walking the jail trail, which is a beautiful thing. And yes, we do like to sit in the classroom and do that, but it's also more fun to do science by the Verde River.
Let's talk about what's needed for the school. Do you guys need supplies? Do you need more volunteers? Any more educators? I mean, what's if you were to kind of pinpoint where the needs are for the school, what would they be?
I mean, we always need supplies. That's the thing. We have about 50 students at Rise, and then about 50 at Rise and Shine. So if that's about 100 kids, there's a good chance that you run out of just typical classroom supplies regularly. We also have students who we help in the restroom who wear briefs as they're older. So I mean, we're always using wipes and those type of things as well. And then art. I mean, art stuff. We're constantly going through all of our art supplies and those type of things. We've had a lot of people donate lately, just really some random fun stuff that they drop off on our campus. So thank you for that. And I mean, really just my goal is to just always be able to pay my staff appropriately and well and make this a career for them, because it's a worthy way to spend your time. So, I don't know if that answers the question.
No, I think it does. It seems like there are supplies that could be donated. Again, if people were interested in donating, whether it be monetarily or, of course, physical items, where would they go? Or who should
on
they
our
contact?
website, it should be pretty easy to donate from there. I know we do have through the PayPal. You are able to.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had mentioned off air group homes. Not something. I don't think you had mentioned that it was coming up very soon, but something that you guys are looking at getting started very soon. We talk a little bit about that. We got a couple minutes here before the segment ends. Cool.
So currently, Rise Resource Center includes Rise, which is the K through 12 school, Rise and Shine, which is the preschool and daycare. And then the next step is that we will have Rye Supported Living, which will be an agency through the Department of Developmental Disabilities, DDD. And that means that my employees will be able to do respite and habilitation for families. And if you have a child with a disability, you already know what respite and habilitation is, but that would be child care or adult care. And then habilitation would be more focused on community goals. So these individual employees that I have can be working with the students during breaks and weekends and things like that. But then in addition, we would also like to start having group homes. I've noticed that there is an increase for people with disabilities homes in Phoenix. I think even I've heard in Sedona. But one thing I found is there's not a lot of homes for people that are more extreme with disabilities, people that really need that 24/7 care. And just like Rise, I would love to have homes that serve all different people. So that is the goal. Right now is not the best time to buy a home.
No.
So I won't be doing that unless someone gifts us a home or something. But hopefully sooner than later we'll start doing respite and habilitation, and then after that we will hopefully be starting group homes.
Again, if you want more information about the nonprofit Rise Resource Center, you can visit their website, riseresource.org. Their phone number is 928-634-2191. Again, they are a nonprofit organization. Monetary donations or donations of school supplies, they can definitely use those. Volunteers, you guys accepting volunteers as well?
Sure.
Okay, all right. Volunteers sounded more like a question response, but potentially volunteers as well if you are genuinely looking for some experience or maybe an educator possibility if there's positions there. Go to the website and contact them. I don't want to say that there are jobs open if there aren't, but like I mentioned, great facility. It's hopefully you guys continue to get the support you need, and we'll keep talking about Rise Resource. The group home thing sounds fantastic. I know there's a few other organizations that are trying to do that on the more adult side regarding the homeless population here in the Verde Valley.
That'd be great.
But there's some great things going on here in the Verde Valley, and one of which is Rise Resource Center. We'll continue our conversation with founder and director Emily Holly on the side of this break. Don't go anywhere. Countywide, we'll be right back.
Who doesn't dream of home improvements? Perhaps your kitchen, the real living room. Maybe the bathroom, where you bookend your day. Langstrand Contracting is your one-stop shop from tear down to finishing touches. With 35 years of experience, Chris and his team will work with you to match your family's style and budget. Call Langstrand Contracting today for guidance in bringing your vision to life.
Award-winning Soundbites Grill is an entertainment restaurant located in Uptown Sedona at the Hyatt Pinion Point Resort. Open for lunch and dinner, featuring fresh fish, all-natural hand-cut beef, even a full vegan menu. Family-friendly, open 11:30 to 9, late dining on Friday and Saturday. Soundbites Grill has some of the best views of the Sedona Red Rocks. offers world-class entertainment, food, fun, and music.
The mouth is the gateway to the digestive system. Studies indicate a correlation between oral health and full body health. Regular cleanings and checkups can help protect you. New patients are welcome at Arizona Smile Designers in Cottonwood. There's a full smile worth of services all offered under one roof. Whitening and cosmetic to implants and smile reconstruction. Find out more or request an appointment online at azsmiledesigners.com.
Terrifying job. Snake handler, take one.
James, this is a really terrifying job. Given the hazards, why do you do it?
I've been fascinated by reptiles since I was a child.
Tell me about your little friend there.
So this is Bear Hug. He's a Burmese python. We have him here at the Phoenix Zoo.
It kind of makes my skin crawl. Is there anything that rattles you?
Yeah, distracted drivers terrify me.
I want to welcome you back to Countywide. I'm your host, Philip Catafamo. On today's show, we are talking Rye's Resource Center with the founder and director, Emily Hawley. We've covered a lot in our past two segments, but here, Emily, you guys have a summer camp that you guys participate in. I want to give you some time to talk about that. So please let us know about that summer camp.
Yeah, so a goal of ours at Rise is to be a resource for the community. And I've heard from many people that there's not always camps available for kids. And I'm hoping that this year, potentially, we can actually do a spring break camp. So I'm going to kind of gauge in the community if that's something people would like. But then traditionally, we do a summer camp for the month of June. And all humans are welcome. Mm-hmm. And that is just like a funner version of our school, pretty much is what I consider camp. And we do try to also really engage in the community. At times go to the library and all different things, like take field trips and stuff like that. So,
yeah, very cool.
So yeah, we should be doing that this summer.
So if you do want more information about that potential summer camp that's coming up, riseresource.org is their website. 928-634-2191 is their phone number. Again, they are a nonprofit. You hit on it a little bit. Supplies are needed, donations. Of course, again, nonprofit organization. But something more fun that you guys did participate in was the Christmas parade in Cottonwood recently. I saw the pictures on Facebook. Looked like a lot of fun. You'd said that the kids had won one of the categories.
So we had two floats. We had a Rise float and a Rise and Shine float, and they were both incredible. And we had wonderful student, staff, and family turnout, which is always so much fun. I actually think some of the students and people that participated in it felt like they were celebrities walking through Maine, like everyone's waving and they're throwing candy. And Rise and Shine did win Best Big Group Float. So we're pretty excited about that.
And I believe those photos of that float are on. I saw kids on a float, but I kind of assumed that is the float that won, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the
Good
Rise
for
and
them.
Shine one.
How
Yeah,
cool.
it's pretty cool. It is cool.
We've got just like a couple minutes here, Emily. I want to ask you one last question before we let you go. Again, Rise Resource Center is a nonprofit organization. RiseResource.org is their website. 928-634-2191. The school needs supplies. It needs potentially volunteers, maybe some more educators. So if you want more information, again, RiseResource.org is the website. Contact Emily. Talk to her about what you can do to help out. But real quick, why are more schools like yours needed? Maybe not in this area, but just in general.
I think more educators and more just education in general, I guess, just needs to be a bit more open-minded. And then you won't have to have special schools necessarily. But at this point, I suppose if we are getting students from all different places like that, I think that maybe it is just as simple as that, as we need to expand our ideas of how we work with these individuals, what it looks like to be normal, is it okay to stand and walk around in class, those type of things. I think we have our set norms in education, and if you're allowed to step outside of that and you're successful, then maybe that should be, where we're evolving to. So. But speaking of that, maybe we need to have another Rise location somewhere.
Well, hopefully you guys will be able to accomplish that. It sounds like Rise Resource Center still has a lot more to get done.
Well, I started with 5 students, and now I have about 100.
I mean, there's your growth right there. Even more reason why you need to expand. But again, nonprofit private school, Rise Resource Center. Rise Resource is their website, riseresource.org is their website. 928-634-2191 is their phone number. They also have a Facebook page if you want to check all that out. Emily, thank you very much for what you do and coming in and talking about this wonderful school you run. That is going to do it for this episode of Countywide. I'm your host, Philip Katafma, wishing you a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time.